When the family gets together around the picnic table or the campfire, they like to share stories about the old days. Well, we're doing that today in a series we call Talking Over Old Times. If we were at one of the family gatherings of Tumwater's founder, Michael T. Simmons, his wife Elizabeth might start with a question we often use today. Remember when? For her, it might be her memories of her first years at the tip of Puget Sound and how difficult it was getting a start in a crude log cabin. It wasn't made any easier by the curious native Indians who made it a habit of standing for hours on end at her window, just staring and watching the strange ways of the white woman. Often they came to her door, wanting food, and Elizabeth gave it to them as she could. She learned an early lesson, though, that she could only give them the food on old dishes or slabs of wood because the tribal women left with the dish as part of the gift. Log cabin life was better than living from a covered wagon, but the space was small for a family with young children, and much had to be done outdoors. It was also common in those early days to keep the chickens inside the house at night to protect them from the cougars, or tigers as they were called then, that prowled around at night. It inspired the families to build a real house with outbuildings as soon as possible. Needless to say, the Simmons sawmill at the Lower Falls was put into action as quickly as possible. Since we're mentioning the local Indians, it's interesting to look back on the Indian labor rate scale used by both the British and Americans on Puget Sound in the 1840s. Early settler A.B. Rabison remembered the list this way. For 1 day's work, 1 cotton handkerchief. 1 week's worth, 1 hickory shirt. For a month's labor, 1 3-point blanket. And to travel by canoe to Nisqually and back, 1 cotton handkerchief plus a handkerchief for each native in the canoe. For 1 horse, you'd pay 1 musket. For 50 Chinook salmon, 1 hickory shirt. The Americans would see to it that no Indian was abused or unfairly dealt with, and they would help provide protection from warlike northern tribes. The Indians, in turn, would no longer sell the children of dead adults into slavery and would no longer put their dead in trees, but would bury them according to white customs. Rabison said, "When we made known the result of our meeting to old Grayhead, the chief of the Tumwater branch of the Nisqually tribe, he was well pleased and assured us that he would assist us in carrying out our ideas, and we could depend upon him as a friend and supporter. Such we found him afterwards to be." Overall, Indian relations in those early days were quite good. It wasn't until later newcomers appeared in ever-increasing numbers that trouble arrived.